Yeah, I mean, you never expect to be in a fuel mileage race, but we just had some weird cautions, with just the way that I feel like it's a lot of things, but it's just Michigan was really just when the caution came out, and then we had to stretch that fuel, and really we weren't ever going to make it there. Were trying to save as much as possible, but I don't know. To answer your question, I think I really feel like we needed to win a race. I feel like we deserve to win a race, like based on how we've run all year, and it just wasn't happening. I felt like we had to learn how to do basically everything right, and things were still not really working out in our favor. So this is just a big relief to have one kind of go our way, and we've just been running so well this year. I feel like it's this is going to be a big momentum boost for our team, just to be able to kind of check that one off the list and keep carrying the speed that we've had. Yeah, I didn't really understand like if those guys were saving fuel as well, because I just kept saving more fuel and I kept getting a gap, and I was like, man, this is kind of weird. So yeah, I haven't. I mean, shoot, I just think about some of the races we've been on the wrong side of this year, and usually someone's catching us at the end, and we're having to hold them off. So to be on the other side of it this time and be pulling away and saving fuel was awesome. I felt like if I could get off a four, come into the white, I could win the race. So that's kind of what was in my head, and that was mostly true. I mean, I got around and did a burnout, and still, I would say at the tail end of the burnout, had the fuel pressure come up. So I don't know how many laps that would have been, but yeah, it's just awesome. I mean, the guys have worked super hard on the strategy side of things, and to see it all come together today like it did, and kind of honestly in the reverse fortune of how it's gone, it was pretty cool. There's certain tracks that I've had a lot of success on, and like the funny story backstory with this place, and kind of Pocono ropes into that as well, is when I was a kid, like I was the iRacing schedule would always line up with the racetracks in the summer, and that's when I'd have the most time to iRace was in the summer. So I would race this track a ton on iRacing. So I feel like that's why it's been a good track for me, is I just have thousands of laps kind of in my head of how the rhythm of this place goes, and even with repaves and everything, I feel like I just spent so much time, as a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, just racing on iRacing on Iowa and Pocono. So I feel like those tracks in the summer, it honestly lines up pretty good. Those are usually our fastest tracks. I feel like Rudy said was just, hey, we want to get to the end of the race no matter what. So, that honestly took a little pressure off my shoulders of like, hey, if I lose the lead doing this is what it is. And then I just realized I was like not really, the gap wasn't shrinking. It was actually growing. So then it was like, okay, this is odd. Like, is everyone else in my head? I'm like, is everyone else saving fuel or not? Like, why is the gap growing? But I just kept with it and just kind of kept saving fuel, and it's amazing how much lap time we could make there at the end, as much fuel as we were saving.
For this being your win here in the Cup Series, having all three in the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup now, how much does that mean to you to accomplish that here in Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot to my dad. Honestly, he loves this place, and he I definitely think he'll enjoy, kind of like that was one of his like encouragements towards me throughout the weekend. He's like, man, go for the trifecta. So I hadn't thought about it till now really, but it's definitely going to be special long term. It's something I'll definitely look back on, and in the moment though, I think it's all about what we're doing this season, and to get a second win on the year is really awesome for our confidence as a team and going forward.
Were you satisfied with the overall racing when you came through the pack?
It was about what I expected. I mean, it was tough to pass. The tires are really on edge. I mean, I think the tire is hard, and it probably has to be because the surface is fast in the middle of the corner. So you just really, on entry is it's tough. So yeah, I mean it's on the edge, which is something I feel like that's something to be happy and proud of too, is just how edgy the cars were to drive, and being able to put a race together like that with minimal mistakes was pretty cool. We've been fast like every weekend. I mean, I can't think of a race we've been slow, and so I think it's just the results haven't come together, and it was starting to wear on us a little bit, I think, and starting to just create some kind of what's going to happen next. But this is going to kind of put the pendulum the other way, give us some momentum, and hopefully this momentum carries us for a long time.
Well, William, congratulations on the win. With today's win, you become the first driver in history to win the Daytona 500 and the Iowa Corn 350.
There you go.
By ethanol the
I
same
like
year.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.